Hey, welcome back to Chase Confessions. It's your guy, A Vice, aka I make overwhelmed look cool. What a day, what a day. You know, one of the things that I really wanted to focus on with this confession was more so just about, like, you know, being able to control your emotions, you know, having emotional regulation, emotional intelligence in the workplace, because so much happened in a day. And one of the reasons I even sit back and do this is because I like to flush out a lot of these thoughts. This, to me, is almost just as good as saging. Don't get me wrong, I'm still gonna sage. But I like to do this because I don't really like carrying this stuff. You know, I like to release this energy, get it off of my spirit, get it out of my mind, because so much stuff happens in a day. And a lot of times stuff happens so much stuff is happening so fast that you don't even remember that certain things happen. And sometimes some of the stuff that happens to you while you at work is low-key traumatic. It's funny to say out loud that it's traumatic, but it's not funny, because trauma actually has a psychological and physiological effect, as well as a spiritual effect on you. And when you don't really release that energy, you don't think about it, it sticks to you, you know, and it doesn't go anywhere, you know. It can be like bleach to a degree. It stains you. And if anybody know, you know, bleach don't go nowhere. And that's not something you really want on you. You prefer it to be a washable stain, but if it's like bleach, it just stays there. And you're constantly reminded by it. So one of the things that I thought was important about today, or just that I noticed, was that there were so many little circumstances and situations intertwined today. Today, you know, I have a student, you already know that. I have a student, so I have that dynamic, as well as we have mock survey. And anytime we have mock survey, it's just like the real thing. We treating it like the real thing. So get a message early in the morning talking about, you know, the consultants are in the building. And for me, right there, that immediately kind of interrupted the flow of the morning. But I didn't let it get to me. But once that happened, it was in my mind, okay, this is going to be one of them days. Everybody is going to be in high alert and kind of anxious. And for me, why I always make sure that I meditate, journal, pray, exercise before work is because I don't know what energy other people are going to have. I can only control how I feel and how I respond to stuff. And I typically say respond rather than react, because a response this can be the same thing as a reaction, but I always feel like with the response, you're more so analyzing things. I like to respond to it, to things that's transpiring. So it was important for me to make sure that I had a solid workout. And today was a leg day, so you know, I don't really like to abbreviate leg workouts. I did abbreviate it because I had to get to the facility, but I had to get that workout in. And great sweat, great work, but it was needed, because not only was I managing my staff and how they were feeling, I also was assisting in managing my department heads and their staff under them, and as well as the student. Because I remember being a student, there's so many things that's on your mind going to your clinical rotation. You got traffic, you got the assignment board, you know, assignments and stuff like that you have to do. Then you have your clinical instructor, you have your CI, you have the patients you're gonna see, the colleagues you're gonna come in contact with. And that was different, you know, coaching up a student, you know, during survey. Coaching up the ADOR during survey. Now, this is not her first survey. However, this is her first survey as being an assistant director, as well as an assistant clinical instructor to me for a student. You know, I always make sure that I give her the agenda that I have in place for the student, and I make sure that agenda is, lined up with the agenda that the school wants, as well as give the student an agenda on what we're going to accomplish for the day. So it's a lot of moving pieces, but making sure that everybody is good, giving them what rehab's assignment is and what the expectations will be during the survey, because they need to know. I never want the team to be in the dark, but that's my dynamic, managing my team. But the thing that that I often find myself doing is managing my department heads' emotions. Now, they probably don't think of it that way, but I do find myself intervening in situations, not because I want to, just because I'm there, and to make my response more palatable for me and tolerable for me, I need to make sure that things run a bit smooth. For instance, this is a bit later on in the day, but I had social service calling me up because one of the patients was just going crazy about their wheelchair. And they were just being very ornery and mean to the staff. The CNA is trying to help them, but he's still being mean to them. And, he fussing and cussing at the social service. And